Hey everyone out there, it's Troy Harper here at Harper Cigar Lounge in Kimball, Nebraska. How are y'all doing out there? Glad you could be here today. I've been anxious to get back down here to my cigar lounge, or my cigar cave, I suppose you could call it, or my speakeasy. Any of those three, I guess. But anyway, I'm glad you guys could be here to hang out a little bit today. I hope you guys can sit back and relax and join me, and I hope you guys got some good, maybe a good metal band on in the background. Hope you've got a good smoke, good drink with you. I just want you guys to kick back, have a great time, relax today, and hang out. And hopefully you'll learn a little something today, maybe. I usually just wing these shows. I don't pre-plan a lot of stuff. Topics I'm discussing within the music business, music world out there. Maybe some of my collections or anything that I'm bringing with me to share with all of you. Those things I come up kind of right before the shows start. But anyway, just any other topics, I just wing it. I just want these shows to be as natural as possible. I don't want to do too much ahead of time to prepare for these. I just like to be myself, and I want you guys to just enjoy this today. Anyway, I won't keep rambling on. Let's kind of get into what I'm doing today for my cigar that I'm going to smoke and review. And this is the Undercrown Flying Pig Maduro. It's a Figurado with a little pigtail on the top there that I'll have to cut off. But really nice looking cigar. This cigar usually runs around $10.99 to around $12. The size is a 3/15 16 by 60, and it's a perfecto considered. It's just nice and short and fat, just like a pig is, I guess. So. But it's got a really nice, pretty blue and gold band, and a really nice, pretty and gold foot band as well. But this wrapper is San Andres, and the binder is Connecticut. Connecticut stock cut Habano, and the filler is Nicaraguan and Brazilian Mato Fina. I can never pronounce some of these words right. I try, believe me. And like I said, the cap has a pigtail on it, and we're gonna see with the cold draw. But I've read that the cold draw has some chocolate notes, some leather, earth, and cocoa for the cold draw. Taste notes for the after lighting it up, dark chocolate, grass, and earth in the first third. Earth and pepper, leather in the second third, and then in the last third, vanilla cedar. So we'll see what this has for taste notes. I'll see what it shows for me. Hopefully this will have some great aromas and great smoke and great. Hopefully the construction and the burn will be great. And so we'll find out, But anyway, what are you guys all up to today? You guys having a good weekend? Or a good week so far. I hope you all have a good weekend coming up. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week so far. I hope your families, your work, and everything's going good for you. I really do. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. You guys mean the world to me, and I'm always thinking about you. And again, just thank you for being here today. You guys are much appreciated. I hope you guys are going to have a great time today. Got some neat things to bring up and discuss with the music world, and just some things in my own collection that I've got with me to kind of share with you guys and discuss as well. So anyway, I got some Kraken rum today with me. So cheers to you guys. And cheers. I'm going to get this lit up and cut. I've been using a V-cut, and I've been using a triple torch flame on cigars lately. I've got I don't have it with me down here, but it's a Zyphe cigar cutter and lighter combo, and it's got a cigar rest on it. Really neat cigar cutter lighter combo. It's been really good. But today with this being a smaller cigar, I'm gonna use a Guillotine cutter with me that I've got, and I'm gonna use just a 1-torch soft flame lighter for this. So I just want to be as gentle with this as I can, and have the best experience that I can, so I can let you guys know about my experience with this. So if you guys have had this Undercrown Flying Pig, let me know what your experience has been with it. Let me know what you thought of it. But I paid around $10.99 for these. I bought a few of these, and so I paid around $10.99 for mine. But most suggested retails is around $12, I guess. So, but anyway, let me get this cut. I do like to give my cigars a little bit of a smell or a sniff, but the wrapper smells really good. Some kind of leather and cocoa smells I'm getting off of this. So anyway, so far really good smelling cigar anyway. Oh, that wrapper has some pepper. Almost, gosh, I'm gonna say kind of some pepper and some, this is gonna sound odd, but a little bit of some whiskey kind of a taste note to it. So yeah, pepper and some kind of whiskey taste note that I'm kind of getting off of this. So anyway, that's what I'm getting. Let me cut this. I'm just trying to see where the cap is so I don't cut the cap completely off. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it right below the pigtail here. Well, the cold draw's definitely got some cocoa, some leather, is what I'm kind of getting from it. Definitely maybe either a little bit of barnyard or grassiness to it. Let me cut this just a little bit better here. Okay, we'll see what this does. So anyway, I'll go ahead and start toasting this with my torch flame, but it's just a one flame. So we'll start toasting this a little bit. And I like to really kind of make sure I turn my cigar around when I'm lighting these cigars. Doesn't matter what cigar it is, I like to do it the right way so I get a great experience each time. But anyway, I'm just kind of turning my cigar, turning my flame, and rotating it so I can get all the outer parts of the tobacco burned. And kind of work my way inward. And I want to torch or toast this until all my tobacco is glowing orange. It's not quite there yet. Almost there. And before I do anything farther, I better take this footband off. Okay, that slid right off for me. Oh boy, right off the bat, a lot of smoke. A lot of smoke off of those. Boy. The taste notes immediately on this, I'm getting a lot of pepper and definitely some dark chocolate also. I would probably consider this more, I'm going to lean towards more full strength cigar. So we will see if this, how this is as it goes in farther into the cigar. We'll see how the burn does and how it turns out. So far it's burning well. So we'll see, but getting a lot of smoke off of this, a lot of great aromas really too with this. Probably, I don't know. I'm guessing the aromas. Actually, I'm going to take one more puff here so I can get some smoke in the air again. Oh gosh, probably some cedar aromas in the air. That's about what I'm getting, some cedar, some leather type of aromas in the air right now. So, but anyway, it's just, the cigar also just has a really nice dark oily wrapper. And the construction seems like it's really good on this so far. So we'll see how it continues to do. But anyway, once again, cheers to you guys. So anyway, I don't know if any of you guys are Kix fans. Not the Kix cereal. The band Kix that formed back in the, oh gosh, they were, big glam metal band in the 80s. I've been a big fan of Kix throughout my whole life, pretty much. But the Kix band, as you guys know them, if you're a Kix fan, I don't know if you've heard, but I don't know if you've heard. But they did their last show this last Sunday. They did their final show. It was called the Hang It Up and Retire show. And they, or I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's not what it was called. Let me tell you what it was called. It was called the Walking Away show. And that was this last Sunday on September 17th. In Meriwether, at the Meriwether Post Pavilion in Columbia, Maryland, and Kix was together for 45 years. Most of the 45 years. They came from Hagerstown, Maryland, formed in '76, and then they continued on through 1996. And then they ended up taking a break for a little bit, got back together in 2003, and then, of course, just continued on through this year, up through last Sunday. So anyway, hate to see those guys go. They've always been a great band, and I've loved most of everything they've ever done. And I never did get to go see them in concert. I came close once to see them in Denver, Colorado, quite a few years back. But because of work and different things, I just couldn't get away to go see him. So I really regret not getting to see him. But everything I've seen, they have always put on great shows. Anything I've ever seen of theirs on YouTube or anything, it's always been great shows. Starting to calm down a little bit now. I'm getting more of a medium strength to the cigar now. Still getting some subtle chocolate, peppers, more of a vanilla and chocolate maybe now, less pepper on it. Still getting some cedar leather in the cigar from what I'm tasting so far. Anyway, so the band members of Kix were Steve Whiteman, lead vocals, Ronnie Yunkins, guitar, Brian Forsyth, guitar and backup vocals, keyboards, Mark Schenker, bass, backing vocals, and Jimmy Chalfant, and he was backing vocals and drums. So those were the guys that made up the band Kicks. They've had some other members in the past that have left, but those were the guys that were with them up until this year. So great band. They're going to be missed, definitely. Bands are going more and more out of the scene because of retiring or because of health issues. And Steve Whiteman of Kick said that him and their drummer are having some health issues, and that's why they've decided to call it quits after 45 years. So good luck to you guys. You're going to be missed. God bless you guys. Thanks for all the great memories, and hats off to you guys for all the great years. So anyway, good luck with your future plans, and hope you guys are going to have a great retirement. So anyway, thank you again, guys, for everything, and you guys will not be forgotten. You guys are missed already in my book. So but this is my favorite album of theirs. This was the first album I picked up of theirs that I caught on to. Kicks Blow My Fuse, and this came out in 1988, and on the inside there's some old photos on the inside of the album, the band members, and during this album, Steve Whiteman was lead vocals, harmonica, Ronnie Youngkins guitar, and Brian Forsyth guitar. So those three have well, those are three of them so far that are still with Kicks. Donnie Purnell, bass, keyboards, and vocals. And so he was replaced by Mark Shanker later on, which is with him right now. And then last but not least, Jimmy Chalfant, drums and vocals. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 5 original members have been with them all this time. So that's really cool. That's really cool that all these guys were still in this band all this time. And I've got Kicks on the TV right now on YouTube, and so yeah, they're going to be missed. I tell you, I'm watching one of their live shows from this year in Minnesota. Might have to do a relight already on this. So we'll see how this does. It feels like it's kind of got a little bit of tight construction on it, or tight. It feels kind of tight with the airflow. When I try to breathe in, it feels a little tight. It does, I'll be honest. So we'll see if I can get this relit and see if I can keep it from burning out again. But so far, everything else I'm pretty happy with. Sorry guys for the delay here, but really want to get this thing lit up good and keep it going here. Okay. So far so good on the relight, so we'll see if we can keep this going now. But anyway, guys, I was gonna continue to discussing this album, but anyway, 4 out of the 5 guys are still with them. The only band member that was different was the bass player back then, which was Donnie Purnell, and again, the bass player that's been with them is Mark Shanker. So but some of the songs that were on this album that I really loved that were also on the radio was Don't Close Your Eyes, a song about suicide, And let's see here. Blow My Fuse was a big one. Red Light, Green Light, TNT. Get It While It's Hot. Another great song. No Ring Around Rosie. Gosh, I think Piece of the Pie was a song that was noticed quite a bit as well. So anyway, if you guys are looking for a great Kicks album, just to bring back some great memories, maybe you used to be into Kicks, but you haven't listened to them for a while, and looking to listen to them again a little bit, definitely revisit this album, Blow My Fuse. Definitely revisit that album. And that's what the back looks like again, and the inside. And they were on Atlantic Records. So, but anyway, there's the inside. So anyway, there's that. But anyway, guys, in Kicks, good luck to you guys out there. You'll be missed. And I talked about last week another band that's retiring, but they're not done yet, which is Mr. Big. Their final tour is this next January, February 2024, and it's called the Big Finish Tour. So those guys will be missed as well. And of course, Billy Sheehan, the bass player. You guys hopefully all know who Billy Sheehan is. I really feel he's really the star of that band, with all the great bass solos he does and everything. Anyway, so this is still continuing to do pretty good here. Starting to develop a little bit of ash. Some nice ash there. And it's still putting out a lot of great smoke. So let's see here, guys. Okay, so another something else I kind of wanted to bring up. I don't know if you guys remember KK Downing from Judas Priest. He's had a band out since 2019 called KK's Priest, and I've been listening to them a little more, and boy, they are awesome. They rock, man. I tell you what, they are hard and heavy and raw, and they do remind me a lot of Judas Priest, a lot of the 90s Judas Priest, when they were starting to get really hard and heavy and fast. Painkiller with Judas Priest, it almost kind of reminds me of the whole Painkiller sound that album had when they put it out in the 90s. But KK's Priest has Ripper Owens as the vocals, and now he was a part of Judas Priest in the middle 90s. Rob Halford went and started another band called Fight. And so he left Judas Priest for 2 or 3 years, I believe, if I remember right. And Ripper Owens came in and took his place, which he really did pretty well for Judas Priest. He didn't get the recognition, and Judas Priest didn't have the popularity like they did with Rob Halford. But Ripper Owens was fairly good for Judas Priest, I thought. He could really get some of those high notes in there that Rob Halford has. But anyway, so the vocals for KK's Priest is Ripper Owens. So. And then on guitar is AJ Mills, as well as KK Downing on guitars. And then Sean Elg on drums, if I'm pronouncing that right, and Tony Newton on bass. So their first album was called Sermons of the Summer. That came out in 2019. And so they've been around a little longer than what I thought. And then they've got a new album out that just came out let's see here, just a couple months ago or so, or a few months ago. It's called Sinner Rides Again. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out. I listened to some clips of that, some samples of that album, and it's pretty good. You guys, if you're into Judas Priest, definitely check into KK's Priest. I think you guys will be really happy with their sound. If you're into the 90s Priest era, where, like I said, they got really a lot faster and harder and everything. So I think you'll love these guys if you're into the 90s style sound of Priest. So, but if you are a Priest fan and you have not checked out or really listened to very much of Painkiller, you've got to grab that album and listen to it. It is tremendous. That album, I'm sorry, I got to throw the horns up. It fucking rocks. Sorry for my language, but it does. It rocks. I tell you, that album. If you're into speed metal, that's definitely the Priest album to pick up. So I'm hoping this is going to stay lit for me. I think it will. I think it will. As long as I don't talk too much in between puffs, I think I'll keep this going. I tend to talk for a while, and then I don't get a puff in, and I end up letting it burn out. So I'll try not to do that today. But anyway, KK's Priest. Look for them on tour this October. They're going to be out and performing, and their guest performance or performer or band or singer, however you want to say it, is going to be Paul Di'Anno. Paul Di'Anno was the lead singer for Iron Maiden in the beginning. The first two albums that they did, where it was just Iron Maiden, first album, and then the second album was called Killers. So that's who Paul Di'Anno is. So if you're an Iron Maiden fan, but you haven't gone back to listen to those first two albums with Paul Di'Anno, if you've only been listening to the Bruce Dickinson albums, I think that's great, because Bruce Dickinson, I think, was the best replacement singer for Iron Maiden, and he's been with them still, all these years. He did leave for a couple of years, but they had another singer come in. And I'm trying to remember that guy's name. I just was talking about him with one of my workers, and gosh darn if I spaced his name here. But anyway, but other than that, Bruce Dickinson has always been with Iron Maiden. But if you haven't checked out Paul Di'Anno with Iron Maiden from the first two albums, which I imagine you have if you're a diehard Iron Maiden fan, but some of you guys that are new in the metal scene, that are just getting into heavy metal. Maybe some of you are younger guys or gals, and you're just starting to dabble into hard rock, heavy metal. Maybe you're trying to get away from listening to all this pop crap that's out there. That I don't know. I don't even know what the music's considered these days anymore. But if you're trying to get away from that and you're getting new into the whole metal scene, hard rock scene, and you're dabbling and you're trying to figure out who you really like, and you like Iron Maiden with Bruce Dickinson. Definitely go back and check out Paul Di'Anno with the first two albums. Like I said, Iron Maiden and Killers. Check those albums out. You're going to be blown away by Paul Di'Anno. He was great on those two albums. But with some of the stuff that Iron Maiden went on to do, I definitely think Bruce Dickinson was the right man to fill in. So, but I know Paul Di'Anno had a lot of alcohol issues and stuff, and I think that's what led to him being asked to leave the band. So, but anyway, Paul Di'Anno, he's had a lot of health issues over the years. He's been in a wheelchair quite a bit, waiting on some surgery, I guess. I want to say it's on his leg or something, I guess, but hopefully he's doing better. Hopefully he's doing good, and he's out there getting the rest he needs and healing and doing well. So hopefully he's doing well. So anyway, but I would love to see KK's Priest and see Paul Di'Anno perform. I think that'd be great. I've listened to a lot of his stuff over the years, and he still has his voice. He still has it. So, but anyway, so be looking out for KK Priest's tour starting up in October. I know I'm going to be. So, and let's see here. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Okay, so let's get into some Aerosmith. And I don't know if you guys have heard, but let me get a puff here. I have a feeling that this could give me some issues. It's really tasting great, and I'm really liking everything about the cigar, but I hope it stays lit for me here. We'll see what it does. It's putting out a lot of great smoke. The burn line is just a little bit uneven, which I did read that it does require a little bit of a touch up after some of that ash forms on there. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of a touch up here and see if I can get this to straighten out. So all I'm doing is I'm just kind of going over the edges and trying to get some of that burned down so it all is even all the way around. Hopefully I won't have to do this after this one. Corey Banks with Cigar Junkies out there, if you're watching this, please let me know if you've had the cigar and how you feel about it. Corey Banks is over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, along with Samuel and Jason at Cigar Junkies. Guys I'm getting to know fairly well. There's what it looks like right now. We'll see if it keeps that straight burn line. But yeah, I think it's going to stay lit, guys. It looks like it's doing well. Building some good ash. But check out Corey Banks, Samuel, and Jason at Cigar Junkies. They do their show every Sunday. But around 9 a.m. is when they do most of their shows. You'll have to check out, I'm trying to remember what time zone they're in, but I know here in Nebraska, they're an hour ahead of me. So usually I've got to tune in an hour early to catch, it's an hour earlier my time than theirs. So if they say 9 o'clock, they're going by their time. So then I got to go 8 o'clock my time to catch their show. But usually they'll start recording about a half hour, 40 minutes earlier than what the show is scheduled, just to kind of catch some extras. If you're interested, do that. Tune in about 40 minutes earlier than what they schedule their podcast for. That way you can catch a little extra content from those guys. They're great guys, and I love them. And if you guys are watching, hello. You guys are awesome, and you guys are just great friends, and I really appreciate you guys recognizing Harper Cigar Lounge most of each week when you discuss all your subjects and your cigars and everything. You always make time to throw us in and recognize us, which I appreciate so dang much. You guys are awesome, and I'll continue to always make people aware of you guys as well out there. So, but you guys check these guys out. They are great. They're funny, and they do discuss some great content, discussing cigars and just everyday things, but I think you'll really get into their show, and I think you'll enjoy hanging out with them. I'm hoping to get to Pittsburgh one of these days, me and my wife. I would love to go down there and with my wife and hang out in their lounge, which is called Just the Tip Cigars in Pittsburgh. I'm hoping we can get down there and hang out and see a live show. That'd be great. But Samuel that runs Just the Tip Cigar, Samuel Hoffman, he was just awarded the best cigar lounge bar in Pittsburgh. So Samuel, again, congratulations to you. Thumbs up to you, and give you a fist pump. You guys, you've worked so hard, and you definitely deserve that award. So I'm very proud of you. And Corey and Jason, thank you for being a part of all that too, for the podcast and everything. And you guys, I can't say enough about you guys. So God bless you guys. You rock. And keep up the great work you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. So, and I want to recognize David Garofalo from Cigar Authority for recognizing us over here in Nebraska. And I want to thank Tim Swanson for reading one of my questions on the air once on his live show that I sent in. And he read it and recognized us also. And so that means a lot. So thank you again, Tim Swanson, and David Garofalo. Thank you as well. You guys are awesome, all of you. And I also tune into another podcast called Cigar Snob every so often. They do their shows about once a month, it seems like. So whenever they do their next show, I'll catch that. But they got some great stuff too. So check out Cigar Snob. if you guys are good, if you guys are new cigar smokers and you're wanting to learn a lot, look up Tim Swanson at Cigars Daily. He's got tons of video on any content or any kind of subject that you want to know, how to light, cut, reviews on cigars, what he thinks. He gives you the honest truth, and he's got just a lot for you to learn. So he's who taught me everything I know. So check out Tim Swanson at Cigars Daily, and David Garofalo and his team. You'll learn a lot from those guys. So check the Cigar Authority, and then definitely watch the Cigar Junkies if you want to laugh your ass off and have a great time, and just hang out, and just feel like you're hanging out with a bunch of buddies. That's a great podcast to tune into, and they're on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. Join their group page on Facebook. Join their YouTube. Give them likes. Give them your feedback. Give them comments. Whatever it is, make sure you talk to those guys. They're great. So anyway, so all of you guys I've mentioned, thank you. But anyway, let me get back into Aerosmith here. So anyway, Steven Tyler right now, he's out for the rest of September through the early part of October. He has injured his let's see here, his vocal cords. He's injured his vocal cords, and so his doctor is making him sit out for a month now. So they'll start back up October 11th in Tampa, Florida. So Steven Tyler, heal up, get better, because me and my brother Grant, we're supposed to be seeing you in November on the 19th in Denver, Colorado at the Ball Arena. So we definitely want to see you before you guys are done. My brother's never seen you. I've met you guys once, and I've seen you guys several times. So I really can't wait to see you guys again. But I'm really wanting this for my brother overall more than anything. But hello, Grant, over in Sheridan, Wyoming, my brother. But anyway, Steven Tyler, heal up. Not just because we want to hear you sing, but we just, at least for me, I want to see you better. You're someone I look up to a lot. So, but anyway, so Aerosmith, they started out in Boston in 1970, and they've got so many great albums out there. So many great albums. One of my favorites definitely is Toys in the Attic, and oh gosh, let's see here. Get Your Wings is a good one. Oh my gosh, there's so many great albums of theirs. Rocks, and then up through the 80s, 90s, Pump, and Permanent Vacation, Get a Grip. So many great albums of theirs. I could go on and on about all their music. But anyway, so any of you guys that are Aerosmith fans, if you had, I don't know if you heard, but they are going to give refunds on any shows that they got to redo or reschedule. And if you can't make it, they'll refund you if you can't be there. So, but anyway, hope you guys will be able to catch the rescheduled shows that will start up in January, February for the shows that were supposed to be in September. The rest of this month, they'll be January, February of next year. So hopefully you'll be able to catch them. But if not, like they said, they'll give refunds to anyone that can't make it to that show. So. And right now on the cigar, I'm still getting just some slight pepper, some dark chocolate, definitely some leather and cedar. Not really getting any vanilla yet that they mentioned. And I can't remember where I got this information from off the website. But it was a gentleman that did his own review on this. So I'm kind of going off of some of the things he talked about. But anyway, so we'll see. But right now it has mellowed out. It's not as strong as it was when I first lit up. I would have considered it a very strong cigar in the beginning, but very peppery and chocolatey, but it has calmed down. So I'd say it's more medium strength now, with some mild milk chocolate and definitely just slight pepper, and some of the cedar and leather. So anyway, we'll see how this keeps going. It's still keeping a fairly straight burn line there, so not too bad at all. So we'll see how this keeps going, guys. But anyway, if you've smoked this, please let me know what your experience has been and what you think of it. Definitely want to know. Like Tim Swanson says on Cigars Daily, we all learn together, pretty much is what he said. So, and that is true. We got a great cigar community all around the world, and by everyone discussing cigars that they smoke and their reviews and what their experiences, we can learn from each other, definitely. So, anyway, guys, but right now the band consists of course, Steven Tyler, lead vocals and harmonica, Tom Hamilton, bass guitar, backing vocals, Joey Kramer, which he is not playing on this tour because of health issues, so there's a replacement drummer, and I don't know what his name is. I can't remember. But from what I'm hearing of him, he's really good. From what I've seen so far, he's really good. Joe Perry, lead guitar, vocals, and Brad Whitford, rhythm guitar, and vocals. So, anyway, let's see here. I want to show you guys couple box sets that I own of Aerosmith. I feel like the cigar is fighting for its life to stay lit. I went ahead and just lost my first ash. I am going to give it a little bit of a relight here again and see if I can get it to keep going. It just looks like it wants to keep burning out. And I noticed on my humidity levels, I keep all my cigars around 65 humidity, around 66, 67 for temps. But it just feels like it's just very tight rolled. But I bought about 3 of these, so you know, the next 2 I smoke, maybe a little better. Sometimes you'll get a cigar once in a while that just doesn't hold up like the rest of the other, the other ones you buy. You might have not a great experience with one, but you might have really great experiences with the other ones. So let's see what it does now. But it's nice and lit, so. Anyway, so 2 relights so far, I think, 2. But the construction is great. It just feels like it's just kind of tightly rolled a little bit too much, maybe. But we'll see. If it goes really good the rest of the way, I'm going to consider this a good cigar. It's had a hard time getting started, but we'll see what it does the rest of the way now, so. That's one thing I have noticed about Figurados. They are great cigars majority of the time, but sometimes they do have a little bit of a tough time staying lit. Sometimes you gotta give them a couple relights and touch-ups maybe, and then sometimes they end up going very well the rest of the way. So we'll see. We'll see what it does here. But it's already building some great ash already. So, but anyway, I'm going to put this down just for a second and hope that it does well for me and that it won't burn out. I want to show you this box set that I bought. Gosh, back in '91 is when this came out. It's called Aerosmith Pandora's Box. It's a lot of all the music they've done from the time they started. Well, before they started, with Steven Tyler. Let's see here. Steven Tyler pre-Aerosmith with the band Chain Reaction from 1966 is the first song on disc 1. When I Needed You is the name of that song. And then so there's one song before Steven Tyler actually got Aerosmith going. And then the rest, it's all their music from 70 on through 1990. Let's see here. Well, it goes up through, the box set came out in 91, so all their music up through, 90, around 90 probably. But there are three CDs, and here's the track listing on the back, a lot of songs. And then there's the front again. And when you open it up, there's the book. And then there's what the CDs look like. So it's been a really good box set. I've been meaning to listen to it more. But if anything, the book alone is worth what I paid for it. So anyway, so there's the back of the book, a live shot of Aerosmith. And oh gosh, there's the very first page. This starts out with some pictures of their autographs. And then a statement from Steven Tyler, which I'll read. It says, "We weren't too ambitious when we started out. We just wanted to be the biggest thing that ever walked the planet, the greatest rock band that ever was. We just wanted everything. We just wanted it all." So that's what it says in the first page. And then this whole book just kind of talks about their life. But, so there's an old photograph of Aerosmith, a live shot. And let me kind of find some other stuff that maybe will interest you. Just some more old photos. And gosh, let's see here. A lot of great content in here. Just a lot of, and then it's got their song listings throughout the book too. From each CD, it's got all the songs. It talks about on each song who was involved, and there's a little comment from everybody on each song. And on Shithouse Shuffle, it says from Joe Perry, "At first I thought he was going to be interested in this, but then I figured out maybe someone will get something out of it." So that's just, so they got comments for each song from the band members. Another photo of Steven Tyler. There's another old photo of the guys. And then the last page, or the last two pages, it's got the albums that all the songs came off of that are in this box set. And I don't know, I can't remember how much I paid for that box set at the time, back in 91 when it first came out. I think I paid probably around 20 or so for that. Or I don't know, maybe it was around 20, maybe it was 30 even. And I don't know what it goes for anymore, but if you're interested in trying to find this, good luck. It should be available somewhere, I would think. I'm not sure what condition it will be in when you find it, but maybe you'll find a great copy of this that's in good condition. But it has been a great box set, and I need to listen to it more often. It was called Pandora's Box. So, great box set. Well, still doing okay here. Yeah, it's still staying lit pretty well. You can see the burn line where it's glowing. Putting out a lot of great smoke still. That was the one thing I read too, is that it puts out a lot of great smoke, and boy, it sure is doing that. And it's still staying, the burn line's still staying pretty even, and it's starting to build some good ash again. I have a good feeling that the cigar is going to continue to burn well from here on now. So anyway, so we'll see. But there's that really pretty golden blue band I told you about. It says Undercrown on the band, Drew Estate, logo on the back of it. And then the foot band is kind of pretty too. It says Maduro on it, and it's golden blue. Really pretty foot band as well. So I really hope you guys are enjoying hanging out with me today. You guys, I can't say enough about how much I appreciate you. Everyone that's in the Harper Cigar Lounge family that you guys are a part of, thank you for being a part of this family. And please spread the word about this group. of rockers and smokers. Pass the word out, get other people to get in on this and check it out. I think they'll have a great time with this group as well. And check out Harper Cigar Lounge on Facebook, my group page. Right now, we are up to 844 members. So we're getting still a lot of people to sign up and join. And every day I've got people signing up on it, it seems like, so which is great. And here shortly I will give some shout outs to all of our Harper Cigar Lounge family members that I want to recognize. And I'll keep trying to remember to make sure I give some shout outs each week. But all of you members that have been on here for a little while now, thank you. And all you new members, thank you. And like I said, I'll give you a shout out here just shortly. So stay tuned into this to see if your name comes up. So anyway, but gosh, have you guys attended any concerts lately? Have you guys picked up any new albums or music that maybe I don't know who they are? Maybe it's someone that you've just discovered. Pass them on to me. A band that I also just discovered, they're called Surge, and I discussed them last week, but check those guys out. They got a lot of the old 80s metal sound, still some modern sound as well, but a lot of the old 80s sound as well, and they sound great. They got a female lead singer, so check them out. And if you're looking for anything, if you like Slipknot or Under Oath, check out Code Orange. Another great band that my son discovered and then passed on to me. So I really like them a lot. They sound really different, but they got some great tunes. I mean, they're hard edged and very fast and very hard, I'll just say. So check them out if you're into Slipknot. Set my cigar down for a moment again. The next box set I wanted to discuss with you from Aerosmith is called the Box of Fire. So there's the top of it. It's got a burnt match for the handle. And I'm trying to remember when this came out. Gosh, I cannot remember when this came out. But I've had this box set probably for a good, I'm guessing good 10 years now or more. I found it on eBay from a seller. It was still in the shrink wrap, in great condition. And I think I paid about 50 or 60 bucks for this at the time. But let me open this up. So when you open this, the top comes up and it slides back down just like that. And then it's got all the albums, nothing from the 90s, but all the old 70s, 80s cassettes or albums. So of course, the first one is Aerosmith self-titled, which came out in '73. And of course the songs on this is Dream On, Mama Kin, Moving Out, and Walking the Dog, a great blues song on there. So that's what that looks like, and there's the back of it right there. And on one side it's got on the side it's got the album color, but if you do the other side, if you flip these over and put them in that way, it makes the Aerosmith logo. So but anyway, so that's the first album that's in this set, and I've got these all in order. Next one is Get Your Wings. There's the back of it. And Get Your Wings came out in '74. So Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, Train Kept a Rollin', Seasons of Weather are some of the great songs on that album. And then of course, one of my all-time favorites, of course, Toys in the Attic. There's the back of it. Of course, songs on there, self-titled song, Toys in the Attic, Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion, No More, No More were some of the great songs on that album. Then the next one is Rocks, and that came out in '76. There's the back of it. And some of the great songs on this was Back in the Saddle, Last Child, Sick as a Dog, Licking a Promise. Next one is Draw the Line. And there's the back. Draw the Line came out in '77. So some of the songs on this is Draw the Line, Critical Mass, Kings and Queens, Cypher Sore Eyes, or Cypher Sore Eyes. And then, of course, I'll discuss these. I've got the albums down here with me, but Live Bootleg, that came out in 78, and that was at the Texas Jam in Dallas, Texas, at the Cotton Bowl. And then we have Night in the Ruts. There's the back. And this came out in, gosh, I want to say around '79 is when that came out. And then there's Greatest Hits. And that came out in 1980. This was the first thing I heard from Aerosmith. And I got a funny story to tell you. But anyway, so remember this album, The Greatest Hits, because I'm going to discuss a funny story here in a minute once I get through the rest of these here. The next album is Rockin' a Hard Place. There's the back. And Rockin' a Hard Place came out in '82. Lightning Strikes was the big song on here. So that was the biggest song that was on that album. And then they brought out Classics Live. And that came out in 1986. And then Classics Live 2. And that came out in 1987. And then they had an album that came out called Gems. So there's that. So that's included in on this as well. And that came out in 1988, the year I graduated high school. Just so you want to, if you want to know. On the Rockin' a Hard Place album, they did have a little bit of a lineup change. And I wish I could remember the name of the guys, but that filled in for Joe Perry, and I'll see who else left at the time. Brad Whitford had left at the time. So Joe Perry and Brad Whitford had left for a short time. So there's, well, that guy there. Trying to hold on to this box. This guy here and this guy here were the replacements for Brad Whitford and Joe Perry at the time. I can't remember what the story was, why something they disagreed with the direction Aerosmith was going, and they weren't getting along with Steven very well, so they left. And but you know, they were all having a lot of issues with alcohol and drugs, which they all went into rehab, got help, and then they got the help they needed, and came out with Backwards with Mirrors, if you remember that. And I want to say that came out, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember when Backwards with Mirrors came out. That must have been in 87, let's see, 89 probably, I'm guessing, since Gems came out in 80. See, Gems came out in 88. So I'm thinking Backwards with Mirrors was like around 89, I want to say. No, it couldn't have been that late. Probably 87, I want to say that Backwards with Mirrors came out. Let me know if I'm wrong. If you got that album, let me know what the year was that came out. And And then, of course, they went on to do Permanent Vacation, and that was in 89 or 88. I remember that being out the year I graduated from high school, so 88. And then 89, 90 is when Pump came out. I got to see Aerosmith in 90 on the Pump tour in Miami, Florida. I bought the last ticket. That show sold out in 20 minutes. I found the last ticket and got to go. Had a great seat in the lower balcony. But before that show happened, I was outside waiting to get into the show, and these two black vans pull up, and they were getting ready to go. I was standing by the garage that the performers go into, so it just happened to be standing over there, and these two black vans pull up, and they roll down the windows, and there they all are in each vehicle. So I got to shake everyone's hands and talk to them for a brief moment. They all said to have a great show, and when they pulled into the garage, they got out and waved at all of us and kind of yelled, you know, thank you for coming and all that. And then Joan Jett was opening up, so we got to see Joan Jett. I think this is still going okay. I hope. But anyway, so we got to see Joan Jett. She was in a limo, and she was standing out of the top of the limo, and she waved at all of us, talked to us real quick, kind of shouted out at us. And got to meet her lead guitarist, and I'm trying to remember the lead guitarist's name, but got to meet him. He came out and talked to us briefly. I'm really bad with names, guys. Joan Jett I've been a big fan of, but I can never remember all the band members she's had over the years. But it was her original guitarist that came out and talked to us, and that we got to meet. So, and boy, I wish I could remember his name, but great guitarist. If you look at the older Joan Jett albums, his name's in there. He's the lead guitarist. So look his name up. After this is over, I will look up his name. I'll put it in the comments what his name was, so you guys can look him up if you want. So anyway, so funny story. I had never heard of Aerosmith at all. I had been more getting in. I have always been a Kiss fan. That's who I started out listening to and was hooked. That's all I would listen to for years was just Kiss. I didn't listen to anybody else. And then I started kind of catching on to who Iron Maiden was, Judas Priest, Motorhead. And so I started gearing towards the British metal. And of course, I was a fan of Van Halen for American bands, Kiss, Van Halen, mainly. And then, of course, Quiet Riot, and Def Leppard, which Def Leppard kind of started out within the British metal era as well, or genre. But anyway, so never heard of Aerosmith until I was working at a restaurant called King's Inn in Torrington, Wyoming. King's Inn, if I didn't say that very well. I was washing dishes for them. They had a lot of big parties, and it was a big hotel, so they had a lot of big parties. And so I was washing dishes for them, and after I got done with my shift, everyone that I was working with, the waiters and waitresses, they all went into the lounge to have a drink. They told me to come join them after I was done with my shift, and they left about a half hour before I was going to get off. So they said to come in and join them when I got off of my shift. So I did. I was 16 years old. So I was barely 16. Went in there and hung out. They bought me a drink. I'm sitting there drinking, and my boss walks by, and she looked at me twice, and she said, "Come here." And I'm like, "Okay." So she pulled me into the kitchen area and said, "What are you doing in the lounge?" I'm like, "Well, I was invited to have a drink," and so I went, and she said, "You're 16 years old. You can't be in that bar. If I catch you in there, you're fired." Anyway, so I said, "Can I go in there at least tell them I have to leave?" She said, "Yes, go in there, tell them you got to leave, that you can't be in there." So went out there to tell these guys that I worked with that I couldn't be in there, and they said, "Well, why?" And I said, "I'm 16 years old." And they had no idea that I was that young. They thought I was of age, which the drinking age at that time, I think, was still 19, so if I remember right. Anyway, so they said, "Well, if that's the case, we'll just go back to my place and we'll hang out there." And so we went back to this guy's house that was one of the waiters in this restaurant that I worked in. And I see his albums in this thing. And so I'm thumbing through them, and I run across the Aerosmith album, and I really liked the way that cover looked. And I'm like, "Well, who are these guys?" And so he put them in. And I instantly became an Aerosmith fan. I thought, wow, how had I not heard of these guys up until this point? So which I probably had heard their songs on the radio and stuff and just didn't know who they were, wasn't paying attention because I was such a Kiss fan, such a huge Kiss fan, and I was dedicated to that band really only. And like I said, kind of starting to dabble in some of the British metal stuff, but was really mainly still a Kiss fan. That's who all I really listened to. But and I was listening to a few things on the side here and there. I had some other albums and stuff that I did listen to, but not nearly as much as what I listened to Kiss. But Kiss was what I just was really into. So, but anyway, so that's how I discovered Aerosmith. So I was 16, almost 16, but that was back in 1986. So. Let's see what's going on here with my cigar. Yeah, I'm gonna have to relight it again. And I'm just wondering if maybe this little torch flame that I'm using isn't powerful enough really to get this all lit the way it needs to. I was trying to use a soft flame because of how the end of this was that you have to lit. It was a smaller end. The foot is what I'm saying was a smaller end. But you know what? Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to grab just a little bit more of a powerful torch. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to move up to a 2-torch lighter. And this is my Deadwood Tobacco Company that I got from the Deadwood Tobacco Company over in Deadwood, South Dakota. A couple years ago. There it is. But anyway, I'm going to see if this will be a little bit better, maybe. I just think that little torch lighter that I was using, the one torch, just was not powerful enough to keep or to get all the tobacco lit the way it needs to. So we're going to see if this makes a difference. Let's see what that does. So we'll see. So anyway, I've had to relight this 3 times. But again, I'm not going to say it is the reason, but it could be because my torch, this little torch flame, and this is an Oliva torch flame, 1 torch. It may not have been powerful enough to really get all the tobacco lit the way it needs to. So we'll see what it does. Gosh darn it, guys. I was hoping for better with this because I've read a lot of great reviews that it stays lit well, and the only thing I read is that you had to touch it up once. Well, I've had to relight this 3 times now, and the burn line's not doing too bad, but I just don't know again if it was because of my 1 torch lighter there that just didn't really put out very much powerful flame. But if you guys think that's what it was, let me know. If you guys think that it's because of something else, let me know too. But like I said, I keep my humidity levels around 65. So I know they're not getting over humidified by any means. But I really don't use a 1 torch flame. Only if it's got a really small little foot on the end is when I'll use that. But as thick as this cigar is, it could be that it just wasn't powerful enough to get all that ash lit the way it needed to. So we'll see if this makes a difference with using the 2 torch flame. Give it just a slight touch up here. I still got a lot of cigar to go here, so hopefully it will do better here. But anyway, overall, guys, I'm really happy with the way it tastes. The construction is great. It puts off a lot of great smoke. Nice oily wrapper. It does build up some really good ash, and the aromas in the air, I'm definitely getting more, still cedar and stuff like that. Cedar and leather and cedar. Pepper. Some white pepper, kind of a smell maybe too. So we'll see what it does here. But anyway, get a quick drink. What are you guys drinking today? That you have with you today? What are you guys drinking? If I forgot to mention, I'm drinking Kraken rum. It's really good with my cigars. I really like that for the most part. Or some dark black coffee is what I really like. I told you guys last week that this was the album that got me into hard rock heavy metal. I was hanging out with a kid I got to know. Went up to his room, was hanging out, saw the Kiss stuff. I fell in love with how they looked. And this is the original Kiss album from '77. It's the original. And that I've had for quite a while now. I had to rebuy this album later on in the years. My mom at the time really believed that Kiss stood for Knights in Satan's Service, along with a lot of other people at the time. And so a lot of my music got taken, and hate to say it, but it got burned, if I remember right. I think my parents actually burned my albums, if I remember right. But anyway, so I refound this from a seller a long time ago. I've had this album for probably 20 plus years, but it came in great shape. But this was a band that did it, and the first track on this album was Detroit Rock City. As soon as I heard those vocals from Paul Stanley, I was blown away and fell in love. But here's the inside of the album sleeve. And that scene, I mean, just seeing all the confetti and everyone just going nuts, that's how I would have been if I was getting to see him live at that time, I'm sure. And then on the other side, it had all the albums that they had done up to Kiss Alive 2. So you, of course, got Kiss Self-Titled, Hotter Than Hell, Kiss Dressed to Kill, Kiss Alive, and then Kiss Destroyer, Kiss Rock and Roll Over, and then Kiss Love Gun, which the Kiss Alive 2 album was touring the Love Gun album at the time. And then this has the original book in it as well. Gotta find it. Here we go. So here's the book. There's the back of it. This also, it talks about the evolution of Kiss. It's got all the years, and just discusses a little bit about each year of Kiss. And then, so again, there's the front. It's got the pictures through the years of how they looked, how their look changed up until the Love Gun tour. So there's the first page. So Gene Simmons, it's got all the years of how his look changed. Paul Stanley shows all the years how his look kind of changed as the years with each picture. So the picture started out 73 and then goes to 74, 75, 76, and of course 1977. And let's see here, a great live shot of the band, some live shots on the side with the years next to it. I don't know if you can see that. And this book is in such excellent condition. I got really lucky finding the Kiss Live original, Kiss Live 2 original with all the original stuff in it. There's Peter, Chris, and Ace Frehley. You can see that. All the different years, photo of each year of them, how their looks changed. Ace Frehley. And then it also came with the original order form. So there's the original order form that came with it. And this is all original. This is the real stuff. And there's the original Kiss tattoos. And I've got the remaster of Kiss Live 2 as well. And it's got everything but the order form. It's got the tattoos and all that too, and everything. And there was a letter when I first got my first Kiss Live 2 album when I was 8 years old when I finally got it. I saved up for a whole year to get it. My mom gave me the last $5 to get Kiss Live 2 because it was the last album in the store at the time, which was a Pomida back in Shadrach, Nebraska. It was the last one, and I told my mom if I didn't get that album, someone else was going to get it, and she gave in and gave me the she caved and gave me the $5 I needed to buy it. But I saved it for a whole year for this album. But the original album, it also came with a letter to the Kiss Army, which is what the fans are called, the Kiss Army, and it had a letter that it said had the Kiss Army logo on the top, and it was addressed to all the Kiss Army members. As you can see on the back of the order form, it says Kiss Army. So Kiss Army wants you, and that was the you could join the Kiss Army, which I did back in those days. It was $5 to join the Kiss Army. And gosh, I mean, shirts back then were only $6 a piece. Hats were $5 a piece. There was a Kiss radio you could buy back at the time called it was a Kiss radio for $9.50. So a lot of cool stuff. But it's just amazing how much things cost nowadays. So compared to back then when I was a kid. So, but anyway, so wanted to share that with you. That's the album that did it for me. That's why I'm into the music I'm into these days, or still to this day. This is the album that did it for me right there. And really, the main person on this album that really got me was Peter Criss, of course. I loved Paul Stanley's voice and Gene Simmons, and I love Dave Frehley when he sang "Shock Me," but the voice of Peter Criss, that raspy voice of his, really got me wanting to sing myself, and seeing pictures of his drum kit and listening to him sing "Hard Luck Woman," Beth, at the time, and then of course going back and hearing Mainline from Peter Criss, and gosh, there's so many other songs of his that were great. That's what really got me into wanting to sing and learn drums. My dad played guitar and sang, but I wanted to learn how to play the drums, so that's what I did. So I started teaching myself drums at a pretty young age, and taught myself everything, And Peter Criss was the reason why I became a drummer as well. So because of him, he's the reason why I wanted to sing and play drums. So, but anyway, so Kiss Alive 2, 77. That was what did it for me. So, and I know I showed you guys the cassette or the CDs in my box set, but there's the Aerosmith. This is the original live bootleg album, and it came out in '78. And there's a lot of great stuff in here. This has the original poster, which I won't pull out because it's really big. So I won't take that out, but and I'm sorry if you're disappointed that I didn't, but I don't want to take up any more time of you guys than I need to. I know you guys got other things going on, and then this was in my box set too, the Aerosmith Live 1. Let's see, here's Live 1 and Live 2. Two great live albums. If you're looking for great Aerosmith live albums, look for these. They are available out there, but they're getting harder to find. And I got lucky with these. I got these in really great condition at the time when I bought them. And I've had them for quite a while now, but really great condition when I found them through a seller on eBay. But they just came with all the original stuff in there, and just in great condition. The albums were in great condition, covers, everything. Had the original shrink wrap on them still, and everything as well. So if you're looking for great live albums from Aerosmith, those older ones are great. Bootleg, live bootleg, and live 1 and 2. So definitely try to find those if you can. And of course, I'm wearing a AC/DC shirt today from the Black Eyes tour. But so I gotta, of course, bring up AC/DC after I get a pop here. So I discovered AC/DC, gosh, middle 80s, and the first albums that I had heard from them was, of course, their very first album, High Voltage, which came out in '76. And then, of course, the other album that I caught on to was Highway to Hell. There's the back of it. And that came out in 79. and that was with Bon Scott. Both of these are the Bon Scott era, of course. But anyway, but those are some of the other albums that I really started listening to that got me into more of the harder metal. Just those guitar riffs and of course Bon Scott and even Brian Johnson that took his place after Bon Scott died. They just had those raspy, rough voices that I love, like almost remind me of how Peter Criss's voice was somewhat, but just, you know, a little bit more rough edge voices than what Peter Criss had. But so anyway, but gosh, so anyway, so that's a little bit of my memorabilia, my music memorabilia. But this was if you guys have been catch on to the Kiss Off the Soundboard CDs, if you don't have this one, which is Kiss Live in Des Moines, Iowa, November 29th, 1977. This was taken off of the Love Gun tour. So definitely, if you want some other recordings from the Love Gun era besides the Kiss Live 2 album, this one is really good, really good. And it's got the track listing on this is first song, I Stole Your Love, then King of the Nighttime World, Ladies Room, Firehouse, Love Gun, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Making Love, Christine 16, Shock Me, I Want You, Calling Dr. Love, Shout It Out Loud, God of Thunder, Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City, Beth, and Black Diamond. So they're playing their whole catalog pretty much, where the Kiss Live 2 just sticks with the albums from Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun. Those are the only three the songs that came off of their albums on the Kiss Live 2 from the Love Gun tour. They just played the songs off of the those three albums. They didn't go back farther on the Kiss Live 2. So anyway, so definitely grab this. You can find this on a lot of sites on the internet, even on eBay. But definitely check out the Kiss off the soundboard live in Des Moines '77. Check that out. Check that out. You'll love it. And then recently they just brought out. I talked about last week. Mark St. John that had passed away, and Eric Carr, of course, that have passed away both of them. But this was the recent Kiss off the soundboard album. Live recording. This came out November 20th, 1984. This recording, and this has Mark St. John on it. This is the only known recording with Mark St. John on there playing guitar. So definitely check that out as well if you get a chance. So, but anyway, guys, I had some other things here, but I think I'll save it for another time. Maybe. Let's see. We're an hour and 22 minutes here. And this cigar is still holding up. It's still holding up. Still doing good. And I think it's going to do okay the rest of the way here. I really believe it's doing fine. But anyway, I will, in the comments, I'll let you know how the rest of this did. And I'll let you guys know. But you guys, before I stop, I told you guys I'd give you a shout out. So like I said, we got 844 members now. And I do want to say actually to Antonello Castro, he's over in Cambridge, UK, Cambridgeshire, UK. So Antonello, I'm sorry. Hello to you out there. Thanks for staying in touch with me still. And Antonello Nicastro, check him out on YouTube. He's a songwriter / storyteller through his music, and he's got a lot of great songs that he's been working on. So check him out. But anyway, some of the newer members I want to give a shout out to that have joined Harper's Cigar Lounge is John Jones. Hey, John, we miss you here in Kimball. Leonardo Lopez, Bruce Santo, Joseph Perez, Scott Morehouse, Jordan Sundell. Hope I'm pronouncing everybody's names right. John Wilson, Julie Hunter over in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, a good friend of my wife, and her soon-to-be husband, Dan Zitterkoff. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Dan. But anyway, all of you guys, thank you for joining Harper Cigar Lounge and for being a part of that. you guys are much appreciated, and I just really am glad you're a part of all this. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. Definitely. And all of us together makes this great community. And I am giving this another little bit of a touch up. It's not doing too bad. It's still staying lit, but I'm just giving a little bit of a touch up here around the edges to make sure it still burns straight. But anyway, I've got about that much left to go. And I'll let you guys know how it all turns out in the end. But I'm hoping the next one I do will be better. Like I said, I've got 2 more of these to try. And so I'll definitely be trying my next 2 here soon. And I'll see if the experience is different. Again, I'm not sure, like I said, if it was my fault with the kind of torch lighter I was using. I just slid the band off. So that's about how much I've got left. But it's still staying more medium strength. Getting milk chocolate, pepper, leather cedar. I'm actually getting a little bit of some vanilla, like they kind of mentioned. I think I'm kind of getting, it's either vanilla or like maybe I want to say like buttered bread or graham cracker or something like that maybe. So anyway, we'll see how it does. I'll let you guys know how it all turns out. But anyway, thank you again, guys, for joining me today. You guys fucking rock, and I appreciate you guys. God bless you guys, and thanks for hanging out today. And before I let you go, I want to tell you cheers one more time. But you guys are the best. Check out my YouTube channel under Harper Cigar Lounge, and on all my podcasts. Give me your thumbs up or a thumbs down if you need to, but give me a reason why. Leave me comments. Let me know what you'd like to see more of, what you do like, what you don't like. Just let me know. Let me know. But keep in touch. Let me know how you're doing. And I'll drop in some short videos here and there and off and on and say hi to you guys. But you guys send pictures of yourself to me, what you're smoking, what you're drinking. Let me know what kind of music you've been listening to, this week or whatever. Let me know of any bands that you've discovered or that you really like. Maybe I know who they are, maybe I don't. But I should probably know who they are, I'm pretty sure. But let me know anyway, just in case it is a band I've never listened to. And I don't care if it's 80s, 70s, 60s, or bands that are coming out right now. Let me know who you really like, and let me know so I can check into it myself if it's something I haven't really listened to yet. But like I said, more likely I have. But I'll share my how I feel about those bands that you're listening to. If you bring them up to me, I'll let you know any experiences that I had maybe with them when I used to be back in the music business, or how I feel about what they're doing these days or whatever, what they did back then if they're not together anymore. But anyway, guys, God bless. I will see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. And God bless you guys. And keep rocking, keep smoking. And have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. Or in between when I drop off. Maybe if I drop a small video here and there, I'll at least put some pictures up of what I'm smoking and say hi to you guys that way too. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye now.